Wednesday due to some swelling in his right knee related to that injury that held him out last season. And Saints utility man Taysom Hill has announced on social media he will not return to the Saints after 9 seasons with the team.
Live from the heart of SEC country, this is your daily fix of grit, guts, and gridiron glory. Welcome to the Deep South College Football Show.
Bowen, here he goes! Georgia retakes the lead!
Breaking down the biggest matchups, the boldest takes, and the deepest rivalries in college football on Tide 100.9 and 1230 AM WTBC.
Intercepted! They confused him! Xavier Brown headed the other way! Touchdown Tide!
From Fayetteville to Gainesville, from the Grove to Toomer's Corner, it's SEC football.
Delivers touchdown!
Now, here's your award-winning host, Wyatt Fulton.
Welcome into another edition of the Deep South College Football Show right here on Tide 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC, your home for Alabama Crimson Tide sports. Got a fun show for you guys today. Not going to do, what we did yesterday, which was a little dirty. I do admit it was a little shady of me, so I apologize. But today, we are less than a week away from the start of fall camp on several of these college campuses, including the University of Alabama, which will start fall camp on Wednesday. So let's talk a little fall camp around the SEC here. We're going to do fall camp storylines that we are tracking here with each and every SEC team. So, gentlemen, be thinking about what your storylines are going to be. Probably going to make this a two-parter just because there's a lot to talk about with a bunch of different SEC teams here. So, probably do like half the SEC today, half tomorrow, and then we'll roll into next week with the start of fall camp. But we got Jackson and Whitman hanging out with us here in the Tide 100.9 studios. Gentlemen, how we doing today?
Doing all right. Got another hot one today outside, but seems like the clouds are coming out and give us a little shade.
That'd be nice.
I'm all right myself. Thank you for asking. Good to be on the program yet again. Played golf this morning. Played a little better than I have been these past couple weeks, so it's good to mental reset there on the golf course. And I'm,
Improve your handicap?
Yes. Well, I don't keep one.
You don't keep a handicap?
No, I don't. I have an estimate, but
yeah,
no, not an official one. That way I can always be at least a little better than I actually.
Than you actually are.
Yes.
See, that makes that makes sense. That makes sense. You can always lie about the stats as long as you're not tracking stats, right? It's why we lie about our win-loss record from last year with our game picks. Anyways, here looking at these SEC teams, go ahead.
That's why we don't write anything down with these preview projections. So that way, when Florida does go 5-7, I could say it was 8 wins. I didn't 8 wins. Are you crazy? You out of your mind? Florida 8 wins.
Yeah.
Why would I say that?
Yeah, what the hell, man? I never once did I predict, John Mateer to win the Heisman Trophy. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, dude.
That's just stupid.
Yeah, like that was a stupid decision. I mean, it was clearly going to be Darian Mensah the entire way, right? So, but we'll talk about SEC teams here today. We'll start in Tuscaloosa because that's where we always start with the University of Alabama. Fall camp storylines. Whitman, give me one storyline that you're tracking here with Alabama as fall camp approaches next week.
As shocking as this is, I'm going to go to the quarterback room. I want to know.
So you're taking the easy option right out the gate.
I am, because at the end of the day, it is the most important question that needs to be answered.
It is.
Is this a quarterback battle where one guy is just a little bit better than the other, and they've both had phenomenal, months of August for each of them? Did Austin Mack play his best football ever and Keelan Russell just a little bit better? Or is it, okay, Austin Mack starting, but we really wish Keelan would, but he just can't make that leap as, to an Alabama-level starting quarterback. And maybe it's Austin Mack just trying to keep us afloat because maybe neither of them are as good as we thought they were. So I'm looking to see, when fall camp starts and we get scrimmages again, are these guys actually, both game changers and one's just going to be a little better?
Yeah.
Or is it so close right now because neither of them can separate?
I do think we've seen a lot from both of these quarterbacks here. Obviously, we know what Keelan Russell brings to the table, right? We know that he's a very prolific player, especially when getting outside of the pocket to go make plays. And that's been the big criticism of Austin Mack is he really, really struggles to go make those plays outside of the pocket. But even though he's had a couple of moments there, I remember, a handful of throws against ULM. I know he had the big play to Josh Cuevas in the Rose Bowl against Indiana there, but that has been the kind of criticism around Austin Mack is, hey, maybe he's not quite as good of a runner. Maybe he, can't quite, and completion percentage drops significantly once he gets outside of the pocket. So I'm interested to see what this quarterback battle does look like, as obviously we will be going well into fall camp. I'm not expecting any sort of announcement until at least the Monday after the first scrimmage of fall camp. And I believe if it's based on the timeline of previous seasons here, that first scrimmage will be Saturday, April 15th, which means that I wouldn't expect any sort of announcement until the 17th here. I'm going to take another easy answer here. I'm going to stick with the offensive line. This offensive line is going to control everything around this football team this season. Now, if they're great, if they've taken the major steps forward that they need to, if this offensive line starts creating gaps in the run game, creating space for these running backs to go make plays, then yeah, this could be a team that can go out and win 11 ball games, can go out and compete for an SEC championship. But if they haven't taken some massive strides, then I look at this team and I say, okay, this is a team that might struggle a little bit. This is a team that, you may be putting Keelan Russell in there because he's got that dual threat ability, because you're going to need him to get outside of the pocket and go make plays. So I'm really, really interested to see what this offensive line looks like as we move through fall camp here for Alabama. We know left tackle's probably pretty much locked up with Jackson Lloyd. We think the center spot's going to be Grayson Delgatti, although small procedure he had after spring practice. He's fine. He's ready to go for fall camp. Right guard, we assume it's Michael Carroll. We assume that Alabama's not going to kick him back to right tackle here. So you really only got two spots open right now. Javen James at right tackle is kind of the expected guy there. And then William Sanders, Mal Waldrop, and Ethan Fields competing at left guard there. But Jackson, give me one of your storylines here for the University of Alabama.
Yeah, I was going to roll with like offensive line quarterbacks or running backs because those are the positions everybody wants to know about. Those are the questions that are going to get asked the most. That's the information that we're going to see the most. So with that, I kind of wanted to pivot and go somewhere else. That being kicker and special teams, I think that's another side of the ball that, it's three areas of the game that are important. It's not just offensive and defense. It's also special teams. And last year we significantly struggled in that department. And so I think if we improve at the kicker's position, everybody in the world knows about Connor Talty and his struggles. Yeah. So if we improve there, get a good quality kicker where we can go out and rely on 40 yards to actually make it through the upright, I think, that gives a little bit of relief to the coaches and making decisions during the game into where, okay, do I want to go for it here? Do I want to take the points? Whereas last year, we kind of had to because you didn't know what the hell Connor Talty was going to do. And special teams, punt return, kickoff return. We did see a few plays in the, not Rose Bowl, but the first playoff game against Oklahoma where we did kind of step up on special teams and make that improvement. But the fumbles, who's returning punts, that's going to be really key as well.
We'll go ahead and take our first time out here as we have talked about the University of Alabama. Next up, we'll head to Fayetteville, Arkansas, right here on the Deep South College Football Show, Tide 100.9 and 1230 AM WTBC, your home for Alabama Crimson Tide sports.
Real-time from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
Vanquished GOP primary gubernatorial candidate Ken McPheeters has filed yet another lawsuit against Tommy Tuberville, claiming the senator has yet to prove he is a resident of the state. On the U.S. Senate floor, Tuberville has warned fellow lawmakers they better act on Social Security's insolvency in 6 years.
It won't be long till people be coming right around this building going, "We're sponsored jobs."
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. In this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites, from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
It's quick, it's easy, and it's free. Go to mylocalcustomers.com today.
That's mylocalcustomers.com. Mylocalcustomers.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Here's your Tuscaloosa and West Alabama forecast. Sunny, dangerously hot here this afternoon, 95. Heat index values around 105. North winds light. Partly cloudy, muggy tonight, 74. Patchy fog developing late. Sunny, hot Friday, 95, with a chance of showers and storms. Storms are likely on Saturday with a high 90. Could see strong to severe storms with straight line winds and the potential for heavy rainfall on Saturday. This is meteorologist Richard DeWetting for Town Square Media Tuscaloosa.
It's 95 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Never miss a moment of the action. Download the free Tide 100.9 app today.
Football show right here on Tide 100.9 at 12:30 AM WTBC. Let's go ahead and jump out on the phone lines here. Let's talk to our buddy Pat here in Tuscaloosa. Pat, how you doing today? Pat, you there? Going once, going twice. Pat, we'll put you back on hold. We'll see if we can get to you here. We'll go ahead and move on, though, with our fall camp storylines that we're keeping an eye on here for all these different SEC teams here. Whitman, we're heading to Fayetteville, Arkansas. It's new head coach Ryan Silverfield, going to have a new quarterback here. What are you watching as we head into fall camp in Arkansas?
Their competitive nature in a lot of the football games that they ultimately will lose this year. What kind of fight are they going to put up in the games that they are outclassed, which is almost all of them in the SEC? Can they keep games close at home? Can they give a ranked team a really big scare late in the fourth quarter? Can they beat all 3 or 4 games or teams they'll be favored against?
Yeah.
What is the chemical makeup of that football program? Are they going to fight for Ryan Silverfield, or has the team already quit and announced silently that he is a bridge guy to another coach?
I'm really interested to watch this defense for Arkansas here, simply because this defense could not stop a bloody nose last year. They got ran all over. They got thrown all over. And yes, the offense was able to keep pace for the most part for Arkansas, but the defense was quite literally never once got that one stop that they needed to get in order to put the offense in a position to succeed. Or if they did somehow get that one stop, it's, a last-second fumble by Taylor Green against Memphis, or it's, a fourth down stop on a Mike Washington run against Ole Miss. It's, you're the number one offense in the country, and the third quarter is statistically your best quarter, and yet you go out and throw 2 interceptions in the third quarter against Auburn and go out and lose that game. So I like what Whitman said there, the competitiveness of this team simply based around, hey, are you guys going to fight for him? Are you guys going to really and truly trust Ryan Silverfield to lead this program? Or is he going to end up being a bridge guy? Because I like the guy. He's a good dude. Apparently, according to him, he doesn't know if he's got aura, but he's at least a good dude for Arkansas here. But is this team going to fight for him? I like that a lot there. Jackson, give me one thing that you're watching heading into Fayetteville. I know it's tough.
Yeah,
but
it's tough. And I like Whitman's answer. I would kind of lean towards, the trench play. And it kind of also stems to Whitman's point there being how much fight, because those trenches that they have there, they're going to have to fight and fight hard to even put up any kind of semblance of competition against another opponent. And so, especially in the trenches, like they're going to be facing a lot of tough offensive lines and defensive lines this season. And it starts early with Georgia in week 3.
That week 3 Georgia contest is going to be miserable. But I like to play a little devil's advocate here. Does that week 3 game almost not feel like a trap moment for Georgia because of the fact that you got to go on the road? It's early. You're not going to take Arkansas very seriously. That is the one game that Arkansas will point to and say, if we can beat them, if we can beat those guys, suddenly, we can do some damage if we can beat that team. Plus the fact that Georgia's got Oklahoma coming to Athens a week later.
If we have seen Kirby Smart struggle in the SEC openers prior to this one, I would probably lean yes. But we've seen him go South Carolina week 3, Tennessee week 2. We've seen him do it and do it well, handle business. Yeah. And Arkansas is not a Tennessee-type caliber team where they can actually kind of hang with them. So I don't think it's a trap game. I think that's going to be more of all right, let's see if we can run what we need to run next week against Oklahoma effectively. And then if we can, all right, maybe we'll sprinkle in some of the stuff that we're going to need to actually do against Oklahoma. But I still think it'll be very vanilla.
Yeah, I think it will be as well. There, Auburn. We're heading to the Plains here in Auburn, Alabama. New head coach Alex Golesh. Whitman, fall camp storyline. What's the standard that Alex Golesh is going to set at Auburn?
Oh, I hope he sets a lot of them.
Okay, he sure as hell ain't setting goals.
No, he's got a lot of room for standards in there. For Auburn, it's simple. It's the same question that I have for Auburn that I have for Alabama. It's the quarterback. Auburn has been a good quarterback away, I will admit, from 9 and 10 win seasons in each of the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, with the defense they had last year, with the receivers that Hugh Freeze was able to, recruit, with the running back game that they've had the last couple of seasons, Peyton Thorne and Jackson Arnold are probably, we're definitely not the answer. Is Byron Brown finally what it takes for Auburn to get back on the other side of 8 wins?
I think that's a fair enough storyline, fair enough question.
He's make or break.
Yeah.
For that team. I mean, the defense is going to be good enough to keep them in the 5 to 6 win range. The running game will be good enough to not lose them any games.
Yeah.
What Byron Brown looks like in August and throughout the season will determine, do they win 6 games and people call this a minor improvement with room to go? Or does he jump out right now, get them 8, maybe 9 wins, and people are going, oh gosh, if they can get a quarterback in next year after him, the sky's the limit.
I'm going to be watching the offensive line for Auburn here. And again, the SEC in college football, we could watch the offensive line for all 16 teams, and that be a legitimate concern for everybody not named Georgia. And even with Georgia, you could be like, hey, I got to see the second unit because injuries are going to happen. So how did the backups look? But with Auburn here, I'm watching the offensive line because you're going to have to give Byron Brown the ability to go make those plays, right? He's a dual threat quarterback, so you feel a little bit comfortable even at the offensive line. Maybe he isn't playing at an A+ level. You feel a little bit comfortable with him leading the charge as a 1,000-yard rusher last season, 3,000-yard passer last year as well. But if you can go out and protect him, now you're able to use his legs not as oh crap, but as an extra facet in that game, an extra wrinkle in that offense that Alex Golesh is going to want to run, because we saw it during his days at USF. We saw it in his days at Tennessee. If you've got a good quarterback with a cannon of an arm and an offensive line, suddenly Alex Golesh becomes a problem. He becomes a problem if that quarterback has got enough time to sit back there and dissect. So I'm keeping an eye on the offensive line here for Auburn. Jackson, what you got?
So I'm going to actually go with defense. Yeah, DJ Jerkin is still there. You retained him. But also, like, you lost a good amount of key players on that defense in the draft and through the
They did lose a couple of pieces.
And you lost a few big defensive linemen in the transfer portal. Couple that with a new offensive-minded head coach with a brand-new offensive system that's not similar to Hugh Freeze's, is like the complete opposite, to where Hugh Freeze was kind of that RPO, we're going to spread you out, run, eat some clock out, to where they were able to keep their own defense off the field for a longer period of time. Are they able to do that again? I don't know. That remains to be seen. But if Byron Brown is that answer, if he is able to rely on their legs and that run game with him, then you may be able to save some breath, keep that defense fresh, and keep them on the field. Or off the field, excuse me.
I like that. I like that pick a lot there with I like the defense because we expect the defense to be really good, but you still went out and you lost Keldrick Falk. You lost a couple of other guys to the draft. I was talking with some Auburn reporters last week down at SEC Media Days in Tampa, Florida, and they said that, yes, Champ Anthony is a great football player. Champ Anthony is a good player. But where does he fit in on this offense or on this defense, right? Because you've got really good corners, you've got really good safeties. The nickelback's pretty daggum good, but yet Champ Anthony is just a bona fide ball player. So where does he fit in? I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see this upcoming season here. We'll go ahead and do one more team this segment here. We're heading down to Gainesville, Florida, and for me, it's who wins this quarterback job. I know it's a cop-out answer, quarterback battle, but it's who wins this QB job. Is it going to be Aaron Philo or is it Tramel Jones Jr.? I think it's Philo. But if coming out of spring camp, it really seemed like Philo needed to be a couple of steps ahead, because if Tramel Jones ends up getting a hold of that offense the way Philo does, now you've got a real competition. But if Philo comes in and he knows the offense and he's taking the right steps and Tramel Jones maybe isn't quite getting the offense the same way, then Philo's got a chance to win this job. To me, coming out of spring practice, I didn't hear a ton of the, hey, Aaron Philo's just, he's got it. He's got it. He's got that offense down like the back of his hand. Didn't hear a ton of that, although I still think Philo ends up winning the job. I'm very, very keyed in on who wins that battle, because I think Florida is a sleeping giant, and they got the right guy in John Summerall. I think they got the right guy in John Summerall. And if you've got Buster Faulkner at OC, a quarterback that knows that system already, and a bell cow running back, Florida could catch a lot of teams sleeping this season. Whitman, what you got?
My storyline, what I'm looking for out of the Florida Gators, would be two things. One, my first choice would be a lot similar to what I'm thinking in terms of what I'm looking for out of Arkansas, but a lot better. This Florida team, they're stupid talented. And
yes,
people want to play for the Florida Gators. John Summerall mentioned that at Media Days last week when Billy Napier was fired. None of the commits, or all but 2 commits, stayed and signed with Florida. There was not a lot of, the best players on the team jumping into the portal. Those guys want to be Florida Gators. They want to win at Florida. If they have, I mentioned the chemical makeup of that program in Arkansas. What's the chemical makeup of the team in Gainesville? Because they're talented enough, if they play cohesively and they play together and they play for their head coach, that's a team that without great quarterback play can win 8 games because of how talented that team is, how well they recruit, how well John Summerall coaches. I mean, he's never lost less than 9 games in a season. 3 games. lost more than 3 games in a season.
He's never won fewer than 9 games in a single season.
Lost, I got mixed up. So, I mean, how does that team play for him? If they perform on third down, in the margins, in the turnovers, things like that, that's an 8, maybe 9-win team if they can flip the Georgia game in Atlanta or something. But if I had to go like position by position, who is the second best playmaker on that team not named Jaden Ball? Who can step up at receiver? Who can be, is it a backup running back? Is it a guy that steps up for that first-time starting quarterback? Whoever it's going to be. Those would be my 2.
Jackson?
I like Whitman's answer, and I'm actually going to go with kind of with you, kind of with both of you, actually. And quarterback, everybody that we've heard from kind of down there at Media Days has kind of leaned towards Aaron Philo being that guy. Nick Saban really likes him. I think Tim Tebow really likes him as well. So I want to see if whether or not Buster Faulkner can bring that same style of just we're scoring points, keep up with us that he had at Georgia Tech, and bring that to Gainesville. He's got Singleton. He's got Dallas Wilson. He's got Jaden Ball. He's got a pretty solid offensive line and a pretty darn good defense to, keep them in games. I have a hard time believing that whoever's at quarterback is going to be worse than what DJ Lagway provided them last year.
Yeah.
So with that, I do think
bad.
Everybody had Lagway being a Heisman finalist or leading them to beat Georgia and maybe an SEC title berth. And what did he do? He came out and threw 3 interceptions basically every game.
Yeah. I said Florida won 4 games last year.
Right. He threw 5 against Miami. Was it 5?
I think it was 5 against Miami.
3 against.
Or was
LSU.
it 5 against LSU?
It was one of those games he threw 5.
Okay, so he didn't throw any against Miami, actually. So, yeah. Golly, where is this LSU game? Okay, they played LSU early. Yeah. All right. Yeah, 5 against LSU.
I have a hard time believing that if you're bringing in Aaron Philo, who was quarterbacking with Buster Faulkner at Georgia Tech, that he's going to command that offense to throw 5 interceptions a game or 2 interceptions a game.
I just don't see a world. I don't see a world where Aaron Philo comes out and throws 14 interceptions in a season, because that's what DJ Lagway had last year. I just don't see a world where that happens. I also don't see a world where he comes out and only throws 16 touchdowns. And guess what? It's what DJ Lagway did last year. So 16 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. I got a feeling that margin's going to be a little bit wider if Aaron Philo does win this job.
Yeah, I think his stats would probably come out to 23 touchdowns, maybe 6 or 7 interceptions.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like they're going to rely on Jaden Ball a lot. And if he can remain healthy.
As they should.
Right. Probably one of, if not the best, back in the league returning, even though that pains me to say. But, and that fight that he was talking about, similar to what Arkansas is dealing with, a few of those, Jaden Ball did put his name in the transfer portal. So it's not like
or at least he flirted with it. I don't know if his name officially hit the portal, but I know he flirted hard with it because there was a institution that was encouraging him to.
Go Dogs.
I mean, look, it worked with the other Florida running back. It worked out. I think it worked out pretty okay with the other Florida running back that they tried that with. But we'll go ahead and take our
great atmosphere, outstanding customer service. Where they do that at? Bama Entertainment, where the odds are always in your favor. Take exit 45 off 2059, sponsored by Red.
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case, and this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites, from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info,
Mazda, new location, corner of Skyland East Boulevard and Palisades Drive. TuscaloosaMazda.com. TuscaloosaMazda.com. For details, visit TuscaloosaMazda.com.
Want to know what's going on with the Crimson Tide? Download the Tide 100.9 app today.
Welcome back into the Deep South College Football Show. Tide 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC here. We head to Athens, Georgia, where what are we looking at for Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs? Jackson, I'll let you lead us off here.
To me, I think you're looking at whether or not Gunnar Stockton has improved. I know quarterback is kind of the easy answer, and, of course, all these teams with the quarterback battles, but are really what, you want to know about your team. But when you have a returning starter who started for only one season, I think you want to see, whether or not he's progressed in that new relationship, and if he's got the repertoire between him and these new wide receivers that he's got, because Zachariah Branch is gone, and you're really relying on redshirt freshmen and redshirt sophomores to step up. Everybody knows their tight end room's just loaded. And so offensive line, everybody knows most of those guys are coming back. So it really just depends on that. Has Gunnar improved? And, of course, with Kirby Smart, you don't got to worry about the defense. Defense always going to be good. So is the quarterback going to step up and make those improvements?
Whitman, what's your storyline heading into Athens here this fall?
I think Gunnar Stockton's bound to improve, but he's not going to do it unless he's got better wide receiver play than he did last year. That's what I'm looking for. They lost their best receiver in Zach Branch. Who's going to step up and not only replace him, but do better than what he did, maybe, and help fill in better at the wide receiver 2 and 3 spot as well, to go along with Lawson Lucky at tight end, the great host of running backs that they got, Gunnar Stockton, his toughness as a runner of the football. He needs somebody to throw it to. And if he finds those receivers, then I think he takes that next step and he does get those Heisman considerations.
Kirby Smart would love you, Whitman.
I know. I thought of that poor guy when I answered your question. Hell, email it to him. Maybe he can post it up somewhere in the facility.
Kirby Smart would love you because it makes it that much. You're making it that much easier for him to motivate his wide receiver room and his players here. For me, it's going to be a little bit of a letdown. But what does the rest of that offensive line room look like? Right, we know Drew Bobo, Dontrell Glover, Ernest Green as well. Juan Gaston allegedly going to be the starting right tackle. Zyke Helton, a freshman, is, according to ourlads.com, is projected as the starting right guard. But we saw it last season with Georgia. Those injuries do start to pile up as the season goes along. Drew Bobo played injured in the SEC championship and in the college football playoff. If somebody goes down on that offensive line, what does the rest of the line look like? Is there somebody that can step up? Is there somebody that can play at a very high level? Because you play offensive line in the SEC, you're going to get banged up. Even more so when you play at Georgia and you're practicing the way that you practice, you're playing the way that you play. You go out and you physically dominate that game on a down in and a down out basis. Someone's going to get hurt. Someone's going to need to rotate in and out of that offensive line. Who is that guy for Georgia? That's what I'm looking at here. Because I think I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever if Gunnar comes out and is slinging that rock left, right, deep, central, or deep, middle, behind the line of scrimmage, everywhere. I wouldn't be shocked if Gunnar's come out slinging that ball. I really, really like London Humphreys and Isaiah Canyon, and Sokovi White-Helton's a guy that Jackson's mentioned it numerous times before, is a very underrated player that could be a key piece to this Georgia offense. By the way, CJ Wiley, Talon Taylor, and Caden Prother are the quote-unquote second-string wide receivers there. And we know that tight end room is absolutely ridiculous. So if for Georgia, backup tight end, second-string offensive line, if those are my biggest questions for Georgia, why would I not pick them to win the SEC yet again this season?
Really. And, they're always going to have a pretty darn good kicker. So.
Yeah, they strangely do have a really good kicker every single year. Peyton Woodring's back, by the way, so
it's like
I'm not worried there.
Program.
Yeah, Georgia for some reason just has these dudes that kick for like 4 or 5 years at a time here, and now they all can kick for 5 years, I guess, if they want to nowadays. I mean, how long? Hot Rod felt like he was there forever.
He was there for 4, if not 5.
I know I'm missing somebody, but it feels like we went like directly from Hot Rod to Peyton Woodring. But I know there's somebody in the middle because the math does not add up on that.
It was why am I?
Because I can't.
Name?
I was going to say I can't remember the name to save my life.
It was. Was it Jake Camarda?
I think it was. Either that or he was the punter. I think it was Jake Camarda, though. Regardless, though, I mean, Georgia kickers are just phenomenal, and they stay in Athens forever and a day. So that's, again, not much to worry about when it comes to Kirby Smart.
No, and if that offensive line does happen to be injured, you do, like if Drew Bobo comes out again with another injury, the center that backed him up last season that came in for him is also still there. So they do have, kind of a trusted, number.
That is
2,
nice.
Which does help. And also, like we mentioned, you have a plethora of tight ends. So if you really need that help, just go 14 personnel, put 2 down there. And make their lives easier.
14. Good Lord. 14 personnel out of Athens. Yeah. Good luck stopping that. Opposing defenses here. We go to Lexington, Kentucky now with the Kentucky Wildcats here. We got Kentucky, LSU, and Mississippi State left here on the program. For Kentucky, for me, it's find somebody other than Kenny Minchie. Figure out who just your bona fide ball players are here on this Kentucky roster. Because yes, Kentucky has got they brought in a ton of transfers. Now I'm looking at the depth chart here, and all but 3 of their guys are transfers. One of them's Willie Rodriguez at tight end, who was voted 3rd team All-SEC. So figure out who your playmakers are that your quarterback can go out and trust. Is it C.J. Baxter at running back, the transfer from Texas? Is it Javonte Barnes, the Oklahoma running back transfer? Is it Nick Anderson, the transfer out of LSU? DJ Miller, the returning guy from last season? Could it be Shane Carr from Southern Utah, who, by the way, recorded no stats last year at Southern Utah? But could it be him?
Is Kendrick Law still there?
He's not. No, he went in the NFL draft, he got taken late in the draft this past year. Although Law would have been a really good one for this team here, but. So figure out who your playmakers are outside of Kenny Minchie. Who can he go get the ball to in order to have success on this football team? Because we assume Willie Rodriguez is one of them. But if it's the quarterback run or the tight end, that's going to be really easy to slow down. You need to be able to get that ball to a Nick Anderson or a DJ Miller at wide receiver to really have that success that you want to have in year 1 under a new head coach.
For me, it's going to be defense. I think, losing Mark Stoops, where undeniably they're going to have a pretty good above average, if not one of the best defenses in the SEC year in and year out. Will Stein, to me, I have no doubt that he's going to scheme up something to get these guys open for Kenny Minchie to succeed. Will they be able to perform and use that? That goes to your point. For me, it's defense. Will they be able to, put something together to give their offense a chance to actually, put up points and keep them in the game?
I'm going to stay on the defensive side of the ball as well. Obviously, everything Jackson said with Stoops, you knew they were going to be good on at least half of the football field. Now that that's gone, they not only bring in a different guy, but an offensive-minded guy now. Kentucky not known as one of the big guys in the SEC when it comes to splash plays and talent acquisition and recruiting. What does this defense turn into is sort of my question. I mean, their talent makeup, if things don't go the way that they need to, Kentucky's defense may be this year's Arkansas when it comes to stopping people on that side of the football. I have no doubt in the offense, but if they can't put together a competent defense to go out there and allow their offense to win some games, it's going to be a bad year.
Yeah, comparing anybody's defense to what Arkansas's was last year is like you may as well have just dropped your shorts and crapped in their breakfast. I mean, good Lord. That's how that Arkansas defense was last season. But we'll go ahead and take our last time out here as we'll wrap up our last two teams of the day, LSU and...
Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana. Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
He's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin? Well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Here's your Tuscaloosa and West Alabama forecast. Sunny, dangerously hot here this afternoon, 95. Heat index values around 105. North winds light. Partly cloudy, muggy tonight, 74. Patchy fog developing late. Sunny, hot Friday, 95 with a chance of showers and storms. Storms are likely on Saturday with a high 90. Could see strong to severe storms with straight line winds and the potential for heavy rainfall on Saturday. This is meteorologist Richard DeWetting for Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
It's 94 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Alabama fans are all over the world, and we are too. Download the Tide 100.9 app right now in the App Store and Google Play, and take the Crimson Tide everywhere you go.
Welcome back into the Deep South College Football Show. Getting ready to wrap up the loose ends here. But first, got to talk expectations for our final two teams listed here in the SEC. Not really expectations, actually. Fall camp storylines that we're tracking for these two teams here. As we go down to Baton Rouge with Lane Kiffin and those LSU Tigers. What the hell is the storyline of Lane Kiffin and LSU right now?
Can he actually stay off social media?
Oh, my Lord. Yeah, I was going to say my Twitter's been relatively peaceful since Lane Kiffin got off of it. Now, it spiked a little bit when Pete Golding took the podium, but outside of that, it's been pretty quiet. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Pete. I appreciate you, Coach Golden.
I do have a feeling that come week 3, LSU Ole Miss week, I feel like his Twitter thumbs are going to start pumping out some content, and he's going to start itching a little bit to get back on the internet.
Yeah. Just one of those. Yeah, y'all got any more tweets out there?
Right.
Y'all got any things y'all got any things y'all want me to tweet about out there?
Can I get my login back, please?
What did we reset my password to, guys? I need to get back in this account here.
Right.
Yeah. That's exactly what's about to happen here with Lane Kiffin. Whitman, what you got?
I will go with the politically correct answer and ask if the offensive line got any better. With the addition of Jordan Seaton, with the addition of several other guys in the portal, guys that didn't play last year, anybody returning, are they going to be better? Are they going to give their transfer quarterback a chance to be good? Will they give the running game a chance to breathe? The defense is going to be fine. The play calling is going to be fine. Can the engine behind the offensive game, the offensive line, can they be where they need to be for LSU to compete for a title?
My big question is Sam Leavitt. What is the health status of him? Because I know he wasn't 100% coming out of spring practice here. We assume he's good to go for the start of fall camp. But what is the health status of Sam Leavitt? And if he is 100% healthy, Is he cutting back? It's the same criticism that I've got of like Josh Hoover at Indiana, right? Great player. Did a lot with a little in certain points in his career. Josh Hoover at TCU, Sam Leavitt at Arizona State, minus Jordan Tyson and Cam Scadaboo. Can he cut down on the turnovers, though? Can he cut down on some of those boneheaded decisions, the plays that make you really scratch your head and go, what the hell is this kid doing? What the hell's going on with him? Why would you make that decision? We were in field goal range. We're up by a touchdown, and we're in field goal range. Why would you throw up a moon ball? Why would you throw up a moon ball in the red zone? It's intercepted. Now it's a tie ball game when we had all the momentum to go turn this into a 2-score football game. So just cut down on the boneheaded decisions, on the ones that really make you scratch your head. And if he does that and he's healthy, I think LSU can be really dangerous this season.
I agree, but I would also, to me, I have hesitancy crowning Sam Leavitt as one of these great quarterbacks in the SEC this season because Lane Kiffin...
you cut him yesterday.
Well, yes, but he did too. He was in agreement. But because Lane Kiffin and that offensive staff kind of already told us how they feel about him, that being that they're not really sure what they're going to get when it comes to the season because they pushed really hard for DeMond Williams in that transfer portal more than they did Leavitt. And so they even did it after they signed Sam Leavitt. So I have my reservations.
I was going to say the fact that they went, I didn't even think about that. The fact that they went after DeMond Williams after they got Sam Leavitt already and pushed as hard as they did for him gives you kind of a question mark for what you expect to see from Sam Leavitt during his first year in Baton Rouge. And Matt Moscato said it, this team really does hinge on what happens with Sam Leavitt. If he's great, the Tigers can be, a 10-2, 11-1 football club. If he's rough, if he's rough or he's unhealthy, if you maybe have to put in Hassan Longstreet for a game or two, you go from 11-1 ceiling to the floor of 7-5 because you got games against Alabama, LSU, or not LSU, excuse me, you are LSU, Alabama, Texas, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, with back-to-back road trips to Neyland and Fayetteville at the end of the season here. And apparently Neyland Stadium is going to have golf balls for Lane Kiffin yet again. So
and some mustard.
And the mustard bottles. So that's going to be
what's Ole Miss going to throw at them?
Everything. The kitchen sink. All of it. They're going to throw everything that if it is
yoga
not
mats?
Bolted. That'd be funny. If it is not bolted down to the stadium itself, like to the ground, Ole Miss fans are going to try and pick it up and throw it at Lane Kiffin. And honestly, I'm not going to stop them. I'm not going to be the one to tell them they shouldn't do that. Lane Kiffin leaves every team except for USC in a blaze of glory in the middle of the night. And USC got left on a tarmac in the middle of the night. So it is what it is with Lane Kiffin here. Final team here, Mississippi State. As we look at expectations, got about 2 minutes left here, so we'll hit Mississippi State kind of quick here. But Whitman, what you got for Jeff Levy and them dogs?
Have they gotten any better this year? And I know that that's going to come off as kind of condescending with a bit of a negative tone, but it's not when I say that. The last 2 years, it's just been, can we not drown to death as a football program in Starkville? Last year, it felt like maybe you saw slivers of an increase in play from Mississippi State. They kept some games close. They took Texas to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
Can they be a little better in, okay, let's just try not to lose by 100? I talked about it a lot last year. They had to learn how to not lose before they can learn to win.
Yeah.
Have they begun learning how to win? Can they stack 2, maybe 3 conference wins together, sweep the non-conference, make a legitimate bowl game? Are the Bulldogs legitimately any better than they have been the last 2 years? Or is it just Kamario Taylor and friends running around like chickens with their head cut off for 60 minutes 12 times this fall?
Jackson, we got about 60 seconds left.
I think Whitman kind of covered it all. Have they gotten better at all? That's just it. We saw them compete against Texas, saw them compete against Georgia for like a quarter and a half.
Yeah.
Can you extend that out?
Same thing against Ole Miss.
Yep. Can you just finish a game in the conference?
I like that. Is it Camario Taylor and friends, or have you guys, like Whitman said, learned how to win? Right? There's a difference in knowing how not to, or playing not to lose and playing to win a football game. Can Mississippi State go out and play to win a football game and win a football game? Because they've got good players. Marquise Johnson, the transfer from Missouri, Anthony Evans III was at SEC Media Day. So we expect them to have some semblance of an offense, but can you go out and win these games and just not play to not lose these games? Because a couple of kick returns killed your top 10 or your top 15 win against Texas. But we'll go ahead and get out of here, make way for the game with Ryan Fowler coming up from 2 to 10.